Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to make a salted caramel ice cream parfait. And if you're a fan of a Vienetta, you're really going to like this one, I think. Part 1 is to make the salted caramel. And to do that, we're going to put 250 grams of caster sugar into a saucepan over a medium heat. Then measure out 70 grams of butter and 375 milliliters of double cream. You can also buy a jar of caramel sauce or salted caramel for this, but this is just to show you how to make it at home. When the caramel is a nice golden colour and bubbling away, then we can add the butter and the cream. And if it starts to solidify and clump together like it did for me, then just put it back on the heat and warm it through again. And after a few minutes we'll end up with this delicious and thick caramel sauce. Then add 1 teaspoon of flaked sea salt to make it salted caramel, and set it aside to cool. Next, take a 100 gram bar of dark chocolate and break it up into small pieces. We're going to melt this down over a pan of boiling water. While that's melting, I'm chopping another 50 grams of chocolate, so we're using 150 grams of chocolate in this recipe in total. I'm going to add in the 50 grams of chopped chocolate to the melted chocolate. This is called the seeding method. This is a way of tempering the chocolate, and tempering the chocolate means that you can give it a nice shine and also a snap. Otherwise the chocolate can get a little bit bendy rather than crisp and snappy. When the chocolate's melted, spread it out thinly over a tray or a board covered in cling film. Make it as thin as you possibly can. I made it slightly too thick. It still worked, but thinner is better. Next, you need to separate 6 eggs. We're only using the yolks for this recipe, so you can obviously use the egg whites to make a meringue or something else. Place the yolks into a large mixing bowl. I like to use my hands to separate the eggs, which is obviously a bit more messy perhaps, but pretty effective. Now we need to make a sugar syrup. And for that we need 150 grams of caster sugar and 3 tablespoons of cold water. We're going to heat that over a low heat until it reaches a temperature of 120 degrees Celsius. It's really important not to stir this mixture. We're just going to heat it through until everything dissolves. We don't want it to crystallize, so don't stir it. While that's heating up, we're going to whisk the egg whites. I'm using a stand mixer for this, but you can equally just use an electric hand whisk. I'm going to do this for several minutes just to get lots of air into those egg yolks, and you'll see the colour change quite noticeably. It'll go a lot paler from this deep orange to sort of a cream colour. And at this stage we can just start to slowly pour in the sugar syrup. We're doing this gradually, just drizzling it in. Obviously this is a hot syrup going into the eggs. We don't want to cook the eggs, so just take your time doing this part. it'll be worth it in the end. When the mixture's light and fluffy, it's ready to be transferred to a mixing bowl. And now we need to whip up some double cream. You need 500 milliliters of double cream for this. I'm also adding about a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. You can use a vanilla pod, scrape out the seeds, but of course that's quite an expensive ingredient, so vanilla bean paste is absolutely fine, or vanilla extract is fine. Just be careful not to add too much. Obviously taste the cream, just to make sure. If it doesn't taste of vanilla, then add more. Whip the cream until you get to the soft peaks stage. I took it a bit too far. That makes it difficult in the next stage when we need to fold it into the egg mixture. So just soft peaks. And if you do over whip it, you can loosen it up a little bit by adding some more double cream back into the mixture. So now we're just going to fold the cream into the egg mixture. Just take your time doing this, small amounts of cream at a time, folding it so that we keep the air in. We've obviously spent quite a lot of time introducing air into this, whipping up the eggs, whipping up the cream, so we want to keep that. It's what's going to make this dessert really nice and light and have the right texture. Now, because I over-whipped my cream, that did make the folding a little bit difficult, and you can probably see there's some lumps in this mixture. If you keep your cream to soft peaks, that shouldn't happen. You have a much smoother mixture. Into the fridge to chill for 30 minutes or so, and then we're going to line a tureen mould, or in this case I'm using a loaf tin, with some plastic wrap, and now it's time to layer up. You need your ice cream mix and your salted caramel to be completely cold at this point, otherwise you'll melt the chocolate. Now the layering process is pretty simple. You just need to put about a third of the ice cream mixture on the bottom. Then add a layer of chocolate. I've already cut the chocolate into smaller shards just to fit in to each layer. Then add a layer of the salted caramel. And repeat that 3 times just to build it up to the top of the tureen. Finally, just put some cling film on top to cover it and pop it into the freezer overnight. It'll be worth the wait. This dessert is pretty naughty, but I think you'll enjoy it. For me, it brings back great memories of that classic childhood favourite, the Vienetta, but in a slightly more grown-up way. Enjoy! If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.